Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all the books I want to read this fall. So my fall TBR, we're going to talk about September, October, November reading plans, and I'm super excited. This is also very ambitious for me because I'm in school. So I really don't foresee myself reading all of these, but obviously I hope to get to all of them. So I'm really excited to talk about them and tell you my reading plans for the upcoming Burr months, which are like the best months in my opinion, obviously, because we got spooky season, we've got going into colder weather. Sometimes it gets too cold though, that's when I don't like it, but I'm just ready to be done with the heat. I'm so over it and I'm ready for sweater weather. So I've got my fall flannel on, even though it's still like 80 degrees today, but that is okay because we're gonna feel like it's fall when I talk about these books. So I'm super excited. Let's get started. So I'm also not including December in this video because I feel like September, October, November are more fall months to me. I mean, they are, like in the calendar year, but they just are more the time where I want to read as many fall books, spooky books, just like those kind of vibes of books during those months. December I feel like is like a reset period where I'm scrambling to read stuff that I wanted to read during the year and I just hadn't got to, which I know I'll be doing. Can't wait for that. And also like maybe a winter book. I don't really read like Christmas books too often just because I don't really enjoy them too much. I'd rather watch a Christmas movie, but I just feel like it's more fun for me to have freedom in December to read what I want before we start the new year. Let me show you my journal spreads for my fall TBR. So we've got the giant bookshelf. I added a pumpkin, a cauldron, and like this spooky little window. And I did leave a bunch of open space just because not all the ones I'm talking about in this video are on this list, just because I'm not really for sure about some of them. Like they're on my radar, but I'm not 100% sure that I want to get to them yet. So I left some space just in case I needed to add some things. And then this is my 5-star predictions page. These are mainly just ones from my regular 2024 5-star predictions. I just don't want to set too many expectations, so I might be filling this in more. I don't know. We're going to start with the books I want to read in September, which I am doing the Magical Readathon this month. It's currently September 1st. I am doing the Magical Readathon this month, so my TBR is kind of more structured since I have to read books based off certain prompts. So it is smaller, but I mean, I think there are still some like more spooky books on this TBR to prepare me for spooky season. So I guess we can start with my current read, which is Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. This is a romantasy book. It comes out on September 17th, and it follows this princess named Elowen as she basically goes on this big long journey to try and get her dragons back. She's bonded to 5 dragons and is kind of just like stolen away from them, or they're stolen away from her, and she teams up with her father's enemy kingdom to try and get them back. And so far it is so good. The found family is amazing, and so is like the fantasy world. I was expecting it to be more like in-depth world building, but so far I'm still enjoying it, and I'm only like halfway through, so I can't say too much. Plus this is not out yet, so I can't say much in the first place. And the next book is not really spooky, but it's one I've been meaning to read for a very long time, and that is Muse of Nightmares by Lady Taylor. If you watch any of my other videos, you know that I love Strange the Dreamer by Lady Taylor, and that I've been procrastinating reading this for so long because I don't want this world to be over. I don't want to not have any more books to read with these characters. So I'm kind of just like terrified. I just don't really want to read it, but that doesn't mean I'm not excited for it, if that makes sense. Like, I just don't want it to be over, so I'm just kind of intimidated by it. But it is on my September TBR, so hopefully we can get to it. And I'm not going to say what this is about because you should go read Strange to the Dreamer and go into that one blind because that is the best way to read it. And then the next 2 books on my September TBR are more like spooky. I feel like not exactly, but they have more of the vibes that I'm looking for during spooky season. And the first one is Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I feel like a lot of people know what this is, but it is about this main character named Signa, and she is always followed by death, and so people in her life keep dying, and she lives at this like gothic manor or something, and there's like a mysterious death of someone. I don't know if it's her family, but someone in her life, and so it's kind of like a murder mystery, I guess. I don't know if that's the like whole plot or if there's something else going on, but I'm really intrigued by it. And let me show you the end papers of this. Are gorgeous, and they make me want to read this book like right now. Like, I'm so excited to get to this. I really hope I like it. And the last book I plan to read in September is The Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, because I was sent the 5th book in the series in, I think, July or early August, and I just wanted to pick up the series because I've always heard good things about it, and I've heard about it in general, like how there's a TV show, but I've never really been too interested in picking it up. But when I got sent the 5th book, I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. So I picked up this, and I know it takes place in like Oxford area, and this main character, who's a descendant of witches, she discovers like this ancient manuscript, and it kind of unfolds from there. And I know there's a vampire love interest, which is so cool. So I'm really excited. I hope I like this. I'm just kind of worried because it's more like history-ish. Like, I know the author is also a professor of history, so I feel like it's going to be really dense and really rich with a lot of interesting world building and things like that. But it also, I'm like, I don't know if I can do that, so hopefully I really like this. I really want to continue this series so that I can get up to the 5th book, but you know, I'm not really sure how I feel, so I'm excited to get into this too. Okay, so September is a shorter TBR month for me just because of the magical readathon, and plus I'm still kind of getting used to my school routine, so I don't want to overwhelm myself too much. However, my October TBR is much more ambitious, and I truly do not see myself to getting to most of these, but I just really want to get to a lot of them if I can help it. So I'm really excited. Let's get started. So the first book on this list is Shady Hollow by Juno Black. This is a like cozy murder mystery. It's set in a small town, and it follows a full cast of animal characters. So they're all just these different animals that live in the small town together, and there's a murder mystery, and it's really short. I think it's going to be really cute and just a fun time, just a fun quick read, and it might be nice just to, you know, break up the spooky books or break up the spooky things I'm doing, just because October is a very busy month for me because my boyfriend and I do so much Halloween stuff. So this would be great to read in between like the haunted houses or something like that, just to not overwhelm myself too much. Next is Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone. This is another like gothic fantasy thing, and it's set at this gothic manor on the edge of a lake. If you couldn't guess, that is a terrible explanation, but I don't really know too much about this. I just think the cover is beautiful, and it will be a fun, spooky, good read, and the font is really big, so that will be great. And next is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Can't believe I haven't read this yet, but I've been meaning to for so long just because it's so iconic, and it is more like fall vibes. Like, obviously with the vampire, it's more fall vibes, so I think it would be fun to read it in October. If I don't read it in October, I'd love to read it in November. And next is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This is a fantasy, and look how gorgeous it is. I don't necessarily think it is like a spooky book. Like, I think it takes a different turn in terms of what wicked means, but I think it involves like 7 princes of hell, which sounds really cool, and I think it has a murder mystery. I can't believe I haven't read this yet either. I've owned it for so long, so I'd like to read it in a fall month if I can. And then I also have another Carrie Maniscalco book, which is Capturing the Devil, and this is the last book in the Stalking Jack the Ripper series, which I'm so excited to finish. I love these characters so much, and I will be sad to see this end once I finish it, but I've always loved the murder mysteries that take place in each of these, and it will also be satisfying to like check off a series. So. And then I have The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. I've heard good things about this. I know this is more of like a paranormal kind of book. I think it's more of like a paranormal serial killer or something like that. Anyways, it sounds really cool, and the cover is also really cool. I love the art of that. So I'm super excited for this. I feel like this is the one I'm most looking forward to read in October. Like, I'm excited about the rest of them, but I feel like this is the top one for me. And the next 3 books on my October TBR are ones that I don't own yet, but I'm equally excited for those as I am for the ones I just talked about. The first one is A Song to Drown Rivers by Anne Lang. This comes out October, I think, 8th. but I pre-ordered that copy, and it's a historical like Chinese fantasy. It sounds so good. I love Anne Lang. Her writing is amazing, and every book she puts out that I've read is really, really good. So I'm super intrigued for this one. And it's not like a spooky book, but obviously I want to read it when it comes out. And then I have the next two books in the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. The first one, or the next one, is Good Girl, Bad Blood, and the last one is As Good as Dead. I don't own them yet, but I'm so excited for them, and I think they'd be so fun to read during October as like a fun murder mystery, because I read the first one and I was so spooked out, and I just think it's the perfect time for those. I think October is going to be a great reading month. It is very ambitious. Like, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is 9 books on the monthly TBR for October, but like, I don't care. I'm excited for all of them. And now we're gonna get into my November TBR, which is a bit more like tame, I feel like. Like, there's some really big books on this list, but none of them are like spooky. I don't think many of them are like fall necessarily, but it is more like fantasy, which I enjoy reading during the fall time. So first we have The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. Don't know. But I'm obsessed with the movie of this, and I listen to the soundtrack constantly, so I've always wanted to read the book to see what I think about the book and like compare it to the movie, obviously, and just really like know everything about it. So it is more like a classic, so I don't know like how fast I'll read this or how much I will enjoy it, but obviously I love the story, so I'm super excited to get to this. I would be reading it during October, but I feel like I have so many others on the list already. I'm just gonna push it to November. It's fine. Then I have House of Earth and Blood, Crescent City 1 by Sarah J Maas. It's been so long since I've read a Sarah J Maas book, not since like January when I finished ACOTAR. So I'm really excited to get to this. It is a brick, which is intimidating, but I fly through Sarah J Maas books, so I'm super pumped for this, and I do really want to read the tandem read. I know I said that I'd read that this year, maybe in December, but I just feel like this is good to read in November. I don't know why, this just seems like such a November book to me. I can't explain it, but it doesn't like feel like summer. I don't know, but I'm so excited for this one. A little romance to break it up, which is Magnolia Parks by Jessa Hastings. This, all I know about it is that it takes place in London, and it's kind of like a toxic relationship, but I feel like everyone is obsessed with this book, and I'm so curious. And I just feel like I'm gonna end up hating these characters so much just because they're so like flawed and, you know, have these issues with each other, but I still think I might like it, so I'm excited to give it a shot. I don't know, it just seems like really full of drama, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. And next I have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices series, and it follows, I think, main character's name is Tessa. Yeah, and it takes place in England, so that'll be a change from the Mortal Instruments, and this is also during the Victorian era, and I feel like everyone, this is their favorite series out of all the like Shadowhunters books, and I have a feeling it'll be mine too, so I'm very much looking forward to getting to this one. Last but not least, on the November TBR, we have Crooked Kingdom by Leigh Bardugo. And I've been putting this off for so long, so I feel like I just have to read it before the end of the year. I'm terrified for it, honestly, but I just feel like I'm slowly getting myself into the mood to want to read this and like get back into the mood of like the Grishaverse and stuff like that, because I love these characters so much. It just has been so long since I've read Six of Crows, and I don't want to wait too long. I feel like I already have, but I don't want to wait even longer. So I'm calling it, and November is going to be when I read this, and I'm so excited and so scared. Also, just because these are all on the TBR doesn't mean I don't have other books that I'm in the mood for. Like, for example, I put in hold for the next book in the Chestnut Springs series from my library, so I'm waiting on that, and I still think I'm waiting on my hold for Catching Fire for that audiobook. Those aren't necessarily like on the fall TBR, but I might be reading them in whatever month I happen to get the hold from the library, so those will also be part of this list. They're just not actually like on it, if that makes sense. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm very much looking forward to filming like vlogs or just videos in general with these books in them and talking about them once I read them. I cannot wait. Hopefully school just lets me live so I can do this as my, you know, it's my favorite thing to do. I love to read so much, and I love to make videos about it. So yeah, I'll see you in my next video very soon.